Welcome to another episode of the PFF College Football Show. Max Chadwick alongside Dalton Wassman. Dalton and I just wrapped up 4 days of live coverage of the 2025 NFL Draft over on the PFF NFL YouTube channel. So anyone who watched that, we really appreciate you guys. If you want to go watch it back, you can watch it as well. We broke down literally all 257 picks in the 2025 NFL Draft and just wrapped up our recap show going over every team's draft class for the 2025 class. And, usually, Dawn, we're exhausted right now. We would take some time before going to the next draft. We're like, you know what? No, let's do it right now. A live 2026 way too early mock draft for all the true sickos out there that can't wait already for the next year's draft. And I'll say it right now, Dalton, you and I preparing for this mock, this class next year is completely wide open. There are not a lot of blue chip guys. There isn't like a Caleb Williams going into the year, or Marvin Harrison Jr., or Joe Alt, or Mason Graham, or Travis Hunter. There's a lot of guys who's just completely up in the air. I'll say it right now, when we look back on this mock draft a year from now, this might be the worst way too early mock we ever did, man.
We may just not, I don't know, we may just not want to look back on it, because I think that's what it is. You mentioned the quarterback class, but I think this entire class, for me, it's just wait and see.
Yep.
Who's emerging during the college football season? Who's emerging even during the college football playoff? Who are the breakout teams and breakout players that we may not even have studied this hard yet, that emerge? And because we see it every year. Even this year, look, went into last year thinking Cam Ward was maybe a day 3 pick, 5th, 6th, 7th round somewhere. Ended up being the number 1 overall pick. So it happens every year where guys break out, and I think this year we're just going to be waiting a little longer and into the season to see who those players are.
It's always called the way too early mock draft because you do it right after the last draft ends. This actually is way too early for this class. There are just so many questions up in the air with this draft class. But, of course, we're still going to do it for you guys, and we're going to use the beautiful PFF mock draft simulator to do so. And, by the way, that mock draft simulator is available to you guys right now with 200 2026 prospects for you guys. So if you want to do a 5-round mock draft, you can do so. I think Eli back there at Producer Studio would kill us if we try to do a 5-round 2026 NFL mock draft. We're going to do a 1-round for you guys. And if you look at the draft order right there and you get mad at us for where your team is picking, just know it's based off the Super Bowl odds right now. So the teams with the worst Super Bowl odds are going to be picking the highest, and teams that have the best Super Bowl odds will be picking pretty low as well. So it's not up to us. Go complain to the sports books if you have a problem with that. So.
And one more thing, this PFF mock draft simulator available with a PFF Plus subscription and annual subscription is still, I believe it's through May 3rd or 5th, still 25% off with promo code DRAFT25. So get a subscription, 25% off, get in the mock draft sim, start doing your 2026 mock draft.
Our guy Donnie in the chat goes, the PFF mock draft simulator is low-key hotter than my girlfriend. I hope she doesn't see this. Listen.
More power to you, Donnie. If you get away with putting that in writing, you have some sort of superpower. That's actually that's impressive that you would be brave enough to put that in writing.
You're going to be in the doghouse for that one, Donnie. I appreciate the love right there. We got a lot of people in the chat right now. We got Drake Holiday saying Sam Levitt QB1. Our guy Drake Holiday from Arizona State. Let's get Sam Levitt in this mock draft right here. Good player right there. A lot of guys, Polymorphic Heroes saying Arizona State playoff run. More Arizona State love in the chat. Maybe Jordan Tyson sighting we get in this mock draft. I don't know. Let's pull up the beautiful PFF mock draft simulator right now and let's start this mock draft. New York Giants picking number 1 overall, and you can see right there, Dawn. Feels a little weird seeing those players in the mock drafts. I'm so used to seeing Travis Hunter and all those guys at the top. Caleb Downs, our number 1 prospect right now in the draft. Do you want the first pick in this one? I'll let you go first.
No.
Damn it. I don't know what to do here. Folks, I don't know what to do here. I'll be honest with you guys right now. Dawn and I are like, who the heck is going to be the number 1 overall pick in this mock? Because, listen, the Giants, there's some quarterbacks I like in this class. They just took Jackson Dart, though. They're not going to give up on him after 1 year. Caleb Downs, they just signed Javon Holland, right? And they have Tyler Nubin there as well. Do they need a safety? I don't know if they need a safety either. The defensive line, they got Abdul Carter and Brian Burns there. So I don't know, TJ Parker, Darius Alexander now next to Dexter Lawrence. Will Peter Woods be the number 1 overall pick? I don't know. Jeremiah Love, maybe. I mean, that's what Eli's looking at, right? I don't know if we get a running back going first, though.
So you could either do the wildly historic thing and have the first ever safety taken number 1 overall because it's never happened before. Or my lean here would be
offensive line.
Take whoever you think could be the best. Andrew Thomas, when he's healthy, he's going to stay at left tackle. Probably got to move somebody over. Maybe you take a natural right tackle. Maybe you take a left tackle and move them over. My first thought here for the Giants would be lean in on the offensive line.
I know. You just said that too. I didn't even think about that. Do you go with the higher upside in Kane Proctor, who plays left tackle for Alabama? Freak athlete, by the way. 6'7", 370 pounds, but he moves incredibly well at that size. Or do you go with the more natural right tackle, Francis Mauigoa here? Because he plays right tackle for Miami. That's the question. I lean Proctor because of the upside, and I think he actually has the upside of maybe being a top 5, maybe not number 1 overall, but top 5 pick. I think I'll go Proctor here. I don't feel good about it. I mean, look, the PFF grading profile is not great for him. But
it has to be, and when tackles have gone number 1, it's got to be an elite athlete. It's got to be an elite, a guy who you think can be an elite pass protector. Do you believe that more so with one over the other?
I think Proctor is the better athlete for sure, and I think he's shown serious improvement. Since week 8 of 2023, he has a 76.5 PFF grade against Georgia. So here's a really cool stat I found when I was writing up Kane Proctor for my top 10 returning players list. Against 3 games against Georgia and South Carolina, which has elite edge rushers, 90.4 pass blocking grade, 1 pressure allowed on 96 pass blocking snaps.
That's the tape you start with. Is the elite the tape against elite defenses like Georgia, like South Carolina. I think if you were making a case, I think you just did it.
All right, Kane Proctor going number 1 overall. Listen, I'll say it right now, and I'll say it again countless times in this class. Don't feel great about it. Like, this guy still has a lot of work to do before he can be a number 1 overall pick. But here with the Giants, I just don't know if they get if they go quarterback or even a safety here, or even the defensive lineman you see at the top of the board too. So going Kane Proctor here, number 1 overall. So now you have the Cleveland Browns here, number 2 overall.
All right. I do feel a little better about this because I think I have 2 options. One, we're about to see an absolute circus at quarterback for the Browns this year between Deshaun Watson's out, obviously, but we've got Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. Now, maybe one of Pickett or Gabriel or Sanders becomes their franchise quarterback. You know me, I'm a Shedeur guy. We know what comes with that. The league has made that very clear. Do you just reset? You just have this year be a circus and reset all of it and go with Arch Manning, assuming he comes out? Or do I just go best player available and take Caleb Downs? Those are my 2 options. That's really where I would go here is those best player available or quarterback. I think it's the classic.
Well, you also have the 10th pick too.
You also have the 10th pick. We also don't necessarily know that Manning's coming out. If he is, I'd be tempted to think this is Arch Manning.
Okay, then take Arch Manning.
If he's not coming out, then you have a choice between, I think what you do then would be take Caleb Downs. And in this scenario, if I have the 10th pick also, I'll take one of the other quarterbacks at 10 because I'm not sure enough other than, and obviously Manning's hardly played, but I'm not sure on any of the rest of the guys to take him number 2 overall, kind of like the situation we had this year. So I will take Arch Manning. If he comes out, we'll take the gamble. We'll see if we'll just see how good he is for a full season at Texas. And you know what? They took one son of a legendary NFL player. We've got the legendary quarterback family with the Mannings. Browns, the circus goes out a year later. They take Arch Manning.
All right, Arch Manning going number 2 overall. How about that to the Cleveland Browns right there? Also, for anyone, and we've gotten plenty of comments about this already, saying Arch Manning's not coming out to 2027. Plans can change, guys. Plans can absolutely change. So
go win a Heisman and see what happens.
Yeah, go win a Heisman. He's a betting favorite to win the Heisman. Texas is one of the betting favorites to win the national title next year. If either of those things happen or both those things happen, he's going to be the number 1 overall pick probably. It's hard to pass that up, right? So I think as of right now, the family's plan is, because he's only been a backup quarterback his whole career, is say, hey, let's get 2 years in the system. But if he goes out there and is the best quarterback in the country, he doesn't need another year of college football to develop, I think he might declare for the draft. So that's why we're operating. And since he's eligible for the draft, anyone who's eligible for next year's draft that we think should be in the mock draft simulator is in the mock draft simulator. We're not operating on the principle of, he won't declare until 2027. We don't know that. There's a long time to happen between now and the declaration date. So he's going number 2 overall. We got a lot of Lenore Sellers love in the chat right now, Dalton.
That is going to the athletic traits and everything that goes along. Maybe we'll get him into this later in the first round because it's going to be the same debate as an Anthony Richardson, as a Jalen Milroe of the athletic traits, the body, and he's bigger than Milroe. Man, oh man, you watch the highlights, go watch the Clemson game where he broke, 15 tackles? Mm-hmm. Freaky tools. That's going to be a big debate with Sellers throughout the season. Wouldn't go this high with him unless he has that Heisman-level season at South Carolina. Right. But we'll think about it. He might feature later in this first round.
He might, I think it's a little early for him right there, but I like the call right there for Lenore Sellers because there's a lot of people that love him in this class. All right, number 3 overall. Tennessee Titans obviously don't need a quarterback. They already took, Cam Ward, number 1 overall in this year's draft. Number 1 player on the board is still here in Caleb Downs. I'm looking at that. They also could use an edge rusher. They took Kevin Winston Jr. in the draft, who I do love.
Downs and Winston in the same secondary.
Downs and Winston would be disgusting. And I do think Caleb, and I said before at the top of the show, I don't know if there's a blue chip player in the draft. The only one actually is Caleb Downs. I think he's the blue chip player.
Two-way player, Caleb Downs?
Maybe. So right now they have Kevin Winston Jr., Amani Hooker, Xavier Woods. That's their safety room right now. That's not stopping you from taking the best player in the draft.
Absolutely.
Caleb Downs is the best football player in this year's draft. I actually, listen, Malachi Starks had a lot of the generational safety love coming out into summer last year. This guy actually deserves it. I think he is actually on the level of Derwin James, of Kyle Hamilton, and Eric Berry. He is the best draft-eligible college football player because his teammate Jeremiah Smith is the best college football player, period. He's not eligible to be picked until 2027. Caleb Downs in this year's draft is the best player in the draft. I think Tennessee at number 3 overall should take Caleb Downs.
The force multiplier, the ability to play any role that you want. Like those guys, what makes those guys, Kyle Hamilton, Derwin James, Troy Paul, the great safeties, great, the ability to do everything. Deep half, free safety, in the box. He played that weird kind of role where he was their further back middle linebacker for Ohio State late in the year. Caleb Downs fantastic, and there's nothing through his first 2 years that says he isn't. That's exactly where I would go here with Tennessee. Best player available, best player in the draft.
Donnie's saying, hey, who's playing edge for them right now? And I get it. That's a big, big need for them. It took Olufemi Oladejo, and that's a decent pick. I think TJ Parker would have been the next pick right there, but the best player in the draft is available there at 3 overall.
I'm in on that. All right, I get the New York Jets at 4.
Yep.
Well, I don't need offensive line all of a sudden because of taking Armand Membu this year and Fashanu. So I'm not going offensive tackle the 3rd year in a row.
Go quarterback here?
This is the thing, I might have to. Justin Fields on a very cheap 2-year deal.
Do you go D-tackle Peter Woods next to Quinnen Williams? That's an option, right?
I don't hate that either.
TJ Parker?
You just feel like it has to be a quarterback, though.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of who Tanner Engstrand and Aaron Glenn would like, and then who in the world we like the best out of the rest of them. Look, Klubnik is the guy who's up there. You have him at number 5 right now. Clemson's about to have a really good year with all this talent. Is he actually going to be the best one? Is there some other connection? Do we have any other ideas on if I'm going quarterback, who would it be? Is it him? Is it Garrett Nussmeier? Is it Drew Aller? Is it Carson Beck? Where are we going? If we go just right down the order, then I'll probably just...
It's up to you. It's complete wide open quarterback
It's
class.
completely... Who's the guy that... Is it Lenore Sellers?
Seriously, you could take the upside swing. People are asking for it right now. I don't know. This is where...
Justin Fields into Lenore Sellers? Do we want to mess around? We're just... this is...
If we want.
There's a lot of messing around going on here.
I think Klubnik is pretty clearly QB 2, but it's up to you. It really is.
I'll go with it with the board being the way it is. The quarterback landing spots and just the quarterback play during this season. Again, it's more than anything in this class. It's so wait and see. Can Klubnik repeat what he did last year when he went from a very below average first year starting in 23 to one of the 6 to 8 best quarterbacks in America last year and getting Clemson to the playoff in a year they weren't even supposed to win the ACC. This year they're supposed to win the ACC. He's going to be in the Heisman race. We'll go with Klubnik there for the Jets. But again, beyond Manning, if he comes out, and depending on the type of year he has, it is wide open as far as who the next 5 to even 7 quarterbacks ranked in this will be. It could be a week-to-week process ranking these guys.
Absolutely. All right, so Cade Klubnik goes off the board there to the Jets. I feel like I have to do it. I'm taking Garrett Nussmeier to the Saints here.
You think? Yeah, but then you're.
I know they took Tyler Shuck. That's not stopping me from taking a quarterback. I'm sorry. That's just not the answer.
It might stop them. I don't know. This is one where it's if the problem with making this pick a quarterback, and I know Nussmeier, I know the connection. The problem with making this pick a quarterback even now is you're just assuming Tyler Shuck's going to fail, and we don't love the pick at 40th overall particularly, but
I particularly hate it. This is gonna be this.
It's either Nussmeier if we're making that assumption, or if you think they're still going to struggle and it's still a second round pick and get out of easier, or you take a D lineman because
there's some good ones on the board.
They didn't do a whole. Kelvin Banks in the offensive line looks a little bit better. They didn't do a whole lot on the D line in this draft. So you could go Parker or Woods here also.
I do love the Garrett Nussmeier connection, though. Because
would they take another Clemson D lineman, though, after Brzee?
Peter Woods board's number 11, too. Like Brzee. Just for anyone who doesn't know why we're saying Garrett Nussmeier, specifically not Drew Aller, who's higher on the big board for us, Garrett Nussmeier is the son of Doug Nussmeier, who's the offensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints.
Take Nussmeier.
I'm taking Garrett Nussmeier.
You're gonna have to do it.
I think I have to do
Just
it.
for
keep him in Louisiana, too. Keep him home.
Very low moving costs.
Hey, he lives in the house with his offensive coordinator. He'll be NFL ready,
Better
man.
not miss an assignment.
They go right from dinner to watching tape right after that, man. So I'm going Garrett Nussmeier.
Okay. All right. Carolina at 6. This was one of our favorite drafts. Tetero, McMillan, a bunch of defensive players that made you a lot better. I think they're okay at corner with J.C. Horn and Mike Jackson, and maybe you can figure that. It's a deep corner class next year. I think it's one of my favorite position groups in this 26 class. You know what I'm going to look at? The one spot we didn't really see them address, if I remember right. I don't think they didn't take a single linebacker this year, did they? And I'm going to go to fill out the last piece of this Carolina defense. Give me the top linebacker on our board, Texas Longhorn Anthony Hill.
Not Peter Woods.
I'm picking for need. I'm going with it. I really like the defensive line group that they got in there this year. I'm going to take what I think now is actually their biggest hole. I'm going to go linebacker. Give me Anthony Hill from Texas.
Okay. God, these edge rushers and D tackles are falling right now. I like it, though. I think Anthony Hill's a really good player. I think he's going to be a first-round pick, absolutely a linebacker next year. Anthony Hill. All right, going to the Carolina Panthers. I'm up here at number 7 overall. With the Las Vegas Raiders, I have to take one of these D linemen at the top of the board here. I think the value is just too ridiculously good for both of them. Question is it Peter Woods or is it teammate T.J. Parker, who I think T.J. Parker's the best edge in the draft. Peter Woods is the best D tackle in the draft. What do you think is a bigger need for Las Vegas right now?
You've got Crosby on one edge. They kept Malcolm Kuntz, but that's a one-year deal. You've got Christian Wilkins inside. He was injured last year. I don't know that you can miss here.
I don't even go wrong.
Here's the question. I mean, look, you want a pass rusher or you want a run stopper? And the only thing I will say, too, is usually the pass rushers go early.
Yeah, I'm gonna go T.J. Parker here. I think T.J. Parker, not even mentioning that he is a great run defender too. I believe he's like one of only a few Power 4 edges who had an 85+ run defense grade and pass rush grade. His power, man, is absolutely ridiculous.
I can't wait to watch this Clemson defense.
Oh, it's
just
all
the way around. I can't wait to watch it.
Let me see another guy right there, Avion Terrell, one of our top corners in the draft. Maybe the top corner in the draft, too, because Jermon McCoy, we'll get to him maybe later on in the draft, but Jermon McCoy just tore his ACL a couple days ago. So that's awful. He's our CB1 for the draft. That was before we even knew of that news. It's unfortunate because he really was an elite corner in college football, and his whole season might be done now.
He's a top 20 talent at the very. I know we have him 8th here. He's at least this is a first-round talent. That's awful. You just wish him the best in recovering from that. And we've seen too the injuries at cornerback, what it did to some of the corners this year. Will Johnson, Siobhan Revel, Ben Morrison sliding out of the. These are first-round talented guys, and you just hope McCoy makes a full recovery because what a year he had last year.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe he can recover. He probably won't be playing at all, unfortunately, this year. Maybe he's still declared for the draft. Maybe he could still be healthy enough for combine or pro day or something. I don't know. But we just saw so many talented corners, like you said before, that fell in the draft because of injuries, like Will Johnson and Siobhan Revel and Ben Morrison and guys like that. And unfortunately, it feels like Jermon McCoy is going to be coming off a torn ACL. We'll see if he declares or not for next year's draft, but he was our CB1, and now he just suffered a torn ACL. But going back to the Raiders, I'm taking T.J. Parker here. I think he's the top. He's our number 2 overall player in the draft, and he's here at number 7 overall, so I think it's a great pick for Las Vegas.
All right, Colts here. I'm thinking quarterback. Now, the question is, we're taking quarterback because Anthony Richardson hasn't worked.
You can't take Lenore Sellers.
But Chris Ballard loves his athletes. Do I go Sellers on the back of Richardson, or do I take some?
It would be hard to convince Colts fans to do it again, to go through that all that.
Or do I take something a little more measured? Because at that point, then I look at the next 2 guys. Actually, let me see what all the quarterbacks is. Anybody could emerge out of this. All right, so I'm really looking at.
By the way, some of these schools are a little off. Like Nico Iamaleava should be UCLA now. We will hopefully be getting the updated schools for a lot of the transfers done soon in the mock draft simulator.
And there's also when we get to their pick, we have to make a pick adjustment for another team here from a trade that's not in yet. We'll fix that.
Okay.
Right now, it's Drew Aller or Sam Levitt.
A lot of Sam Levitt love in the chat. A lot of Sam Levitt love in the chat.
A lot of Sam Levitt love. And, well, look, Penn State, I'm worried about the weaponry. And Aller having to throw through. Trevor Pena, though. Got to love that.
That's right.
First-round pick, Trevor Pena?
Is he even in the mock draft simulator?
I don't know if you put him in there. We'll get him in eventually. Don't worry. You know what? The chat's on it.
He's in there.
The chat's, yeah, but the chat's on it. Sam Levitt plays in the high-flying Big 12. He's got maybe the best receiver in the country in Jordan Tyson. We saw Levitt get real hot down.
Easy. Best draft eligible receiver in the country.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Best 2026 receiver in the country, sorry. Yeah. Jordan Tyson, great player. I'll take Sam Levitt. I'm going to ride with the chat here. Athletic. He's got a really good arm. He's got tools. Actually, honestly, in that Texas game, I was shocked. I knew he was athletic. That was a different gear he hit in that playoff game against Texas. If they had Jordan Tyson, they might have won that game. I think Sam Levitt's in for a big year at Arizona State. I'll do it. Shane Steichen gets his franchise quarterback this time around with Sam Levitt.
Quarterback's flying off the board right now. We got 4 of the top 8 picks of this draft right here. Dallas.
I think this is easy.
Yeah, this is really easy. Dallas is taking Peter Woods, and not even thinking twice about it.
Stop the run.
Yep.
They got Ezeraku. They didn't go D-tackle in this year's draft.
And
yeah,
he's listed as an edge rusher in the mock draft sim because he played mostly on the edge for Clemson this past year. He played on the D-tackle for the second half of the season. He is a defensive tackle. He's like 315, 320 pounds. He should not be playing edge rusher. He is an elite player, man. The strength he has is outrageous. He's quicker than you would think for his size, too. Like you see in the big board, he's a top 3 player for us in this draft right now. He is easily DT1 in this draft, and for Dallas, who probably was praying a guy like Mason Graham would fall to them in this year's draft, it didn't happen. I think Peter Woods would be a home run pick for them next year.
Absolutely. They need a run stopper. Mozzie Smith, another case where one player didn't work. You try to get a replacement at the same position. Woods is strong as an ox. He's one of the best run defenders in the country, if not the best run defender in the country. Love that pick for Dallas.
All right, number 10 overall, Cleveland again up because Jacksonville traded to their pick to the Browns when they traded up for Travis Hunter. So the Browns taking here after taking Arch Manning at number 2 overall.
Did the Browns draft any receivers this year?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't think so. Let me see.
Because they went Graham, Judkins, Sampson.
They did not.
I feel like I have to go. It's receiver or corner for me. The 2 things that they passed up, fun enough, when they passed on Travis Hunter.
I feel like
so my 2 thoughts, it sucks because of the injury, but I can't take McCoy here.
Avion Terrell, maybe?
I think my 2 options here would be Terrell, or I would go receiver and probably just go Jordan Tyson.
Yeah.
And I already know who the chat wants me to take.
Well, you know who Drake Holiday wants you to take, yeah.
Arch Manning and Jordan Tyson? Jerry Jeudy? The 2 backs?
Is there an someone in the chat saying edge rusher for Cleveland, too?
Who's the next best edge we have? Ruben Bain?
Ruben Bain's not a bad call.
I still wonder if Ruben Bain moves inside eventually. Just the way he's built and the way he plays.
I can see it. They could use him inside.
I think a skill player. I think it's Terrell. I think it's Terrell or Tyson.
Okay. I don't think you can go wrong with either of them. So
I'll go receiver. Let's build around Arch. Let's get Jordan Tyson. 2 straight Arizona State players for me. You're welcome.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, Drake Holiday loves you in the chat right now, I'm sure. All right, number 11 overall, Seattle Seahawks are on the clock here.
Oh. May I make a suggestion?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think you've been talking about him playing interior. I think it's Spencer Fano.
Yeah.
He's perfect for Clint.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Spencer Fano, Clint Kubiak, just get more O-line. If he gets better as a pass protector, maybe he could stay at right tackle. Got to work on that. You said a lack of length, too.
The length
right?
is what scares me, yeah.
But he'd be a perfect guard for Clint Kubiak.
Yeah.
Imagine that now. You got Gray Zabel. They were taking some late-round flyers. Or maybe Christian Haynes. Whatever.
Pick so far,
Spencer Fano with Clint Kubiak is easy money.
The highest-graded offensive tackle in America this past year was Spencer Fano. Again, I think he's more of a guard at the next level due to a lack of length, and also his kick slide and pass protection isn't the best. He's not great in space as a pass blocker. He is great in space as a run blocker, though. He was the best run blocker in college football this past year. And I think, with Seattle, I think what running back did they draft? I'm blanking.
Damian Martinez.
Hey,
you have Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, and Damian Martinez.
Yeah, they're going to want to run the ball a lot.
Yeah.
And, Spencer Fano will be very good for them right there. Spencer Fano going number 11 overall to the Seattle Seahawks. Now we got the Patriots here at number 12 overall.
They took a back. They took Travion Henderson. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like I might need another one. Oh.
Is there, what else did they not take?
Did they take an edge rusher? Is that right? We've talked about these classes so much that I'm sorry. Mixed up right now. Where are we at on their edge unit?
So they took they took Josh Farmer, which is not edge, but they did not take another. I don't believe they took. Braden Swinson. They got Braden Swinson later on in the draft. But.
Good value. That's right.
Yeah. That's still a 5th-round pick, though. So
yeah. I think I'm looking at
corner.
I could take it's high. I could take Jeremiah Love and go with Travion Henderson and roll with that backfield.
O-line, still go O-line here?
Maybe.
I took Jared Wilson too.
Will
You don't need Jake Slaughter.
Well, unless I take Mawanoa as a right tackle, and because Morgan Moses he's on a multi-year contract, but he's older. It's not that hard to get out of that.
Mawanoa is a good value here.
And I was also thinking then about an edge rusher like a Reuben Bain.
And that's true. We've seen the Jets and the Saints go back-to-back tackles in first round in recent years. Maybe the Patriots do the same thing with Will Campbell and Mawanoa.
But man, do I like Jeremiah Love with Travion, but I just, running back goes. It's got to be an Ashton Ginty level process. All right, let's go O-line. We're going to go Francis Mawanoa from Miami, right tackle. Bookend it with Will Campbell. We're living on the offensive line. Real quick before you make this pick, the Falcons are on the clock. They traded this pick to the Rams. So, Eli, if you could put some dummy trade in there with the Rams to get the Rams on the clock, because they now have 2 first-round picks.
Very good catch right there. Yeah, hopefully we'll get that. We'll get that fixed in Mock Draft Simulator. Hopefully pretty soon. We'll actually, right after this is over, we'll probably message the people to get that fixed too. But all right, horrible trade for the Falcons right there. They just got like a 7th-round pick for a 1st-round pick.
They got James Pierce Jr. out of it is what they got. So, I mean, if they needed pass rush, we'll analyze the James Pierce thing later in the week. We're doing 2026.
Just like the 4th trade Eli just did was a 7th-round pick for the 1st-round pick.
Yeah,
so.
This
pretty
is
brutal.
It's tough.
I guess you're saving cap space, right? You're paying a 7th-round pick instead of a 1st-round pick.
Well, it's tough for any Falcons fan watching this right now and being reminded of that. But they got James Pierce, they got Jalen Walker, Xavier Watts. Love that pick. We'll break it down later in the week. I'll break it down with Trevor later in the week.
Yep.
But the Rams, the Rams are on the clock. You're up with them. Odd number. You have the Rams.
Yes. Rams are up on the clock right here. Oh, man, Anthony Hill would have been awesome if you did not snipe him for me. Deontay Lawson's still here, too.
Why not corner?
Corner? Yeah, actually, yeah. Oh, I want to do it. I'm going to take Avion Terrell here.
That's even worse.
Because he would have been in Atlanta.
This was the Falcons. Actually, it's awesome. This would have been the Falcons pick. And they took AJ Terrell's brother. They take Avion Terrell. That's even more hilarious. We have to lock it in. Eli.
Yeah,
you have to do it now. That's
Avion
awesome.
Terrell done. Avion Terrell's the newest Los Angeles Ram.
If that actually happened and they took the Falcons first rounder next year, they got AJ Terrell's brother. Yeah. When the Falcons still kind of need another corner.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Okay, that's my favorite pick we've done so far.
All right, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers up here. Not take a quarterback until Will Howard in the 6th round. I think Drew Aller might be the pick.
I know you want me to do it.
Drew Aller, listen, Lenora Sellers, we knew they were in on Milroe. I know they didn't take him in the actual draft, but we knew they liked Milroe.
We're having the same debate next year with the Steelers as we're having this year. Do you take the Now, Aller's got a better arm than Shedeur, I'm aware.
Yeah.
Do you take the quarterback who, he's a pocket passer, you know what he can do from there. He's got a better arm than Shedeur, not as accurate as Shedeur, but, Also, I'm worried about Aller with this. I know they got Pena, but I'm worried about the weapons situation and not having Tyler Warren and where this. Now,
yeah,
we say it all the time. Andy Koldenicki does punch above his weight class with a lack of weapons. He's one of the best probably top 5 offensive play caller in the country, right? Maybe last year the best one. Man, they went with Kenny Pickett that time with a Pittsburgh guy. Maybe just go across the state a little bit, Penn State. Man, we might work Sellers in here at some point, but that's a lot of projection. We'll go with Drew Aller. Keep him in state. I'll keep you happy with that one. Penn State to Pittsburgh.
Some people in the chat wanted a quarterback to Los Angeles at 13 overall.
Well, that could have been a thought. It seems like a 1 year. Let's see where that goes with Stafford. And they also have a second first-round pick.
They could also get a quarterback there, too. Yeah, you're right. All right, 15 overall. Miami Dolphins on the clock. Dude, I mean, all right.
Oh, well, if you were going to convince yourself to take McCoy.
That's what I was just going to say. I mean, at this point, like.
The injury bit is what it is. We don't know how that will affect it. And if he's another one. I wonder if he would even come out next year.
So complicated.
So, if there was a spot you were going to take McCoy, or you get my guy Dylan Thieneman.
Old lineman, maybe we can go here.
We won't lose faith in Patrick Paul that quick.
They don't really need a center, really, right? Don't they have
Aaron Brewer?
He
fits him.
Slaughter is a great player. I just don't know if he goes this high.
This is the
I just feel like you got to take McCoy.
There's a good argument for Jermard McCoy here.
I'll take him. Again, he very easily might fall out of the first round because of that torn ACL he literally just suffered a couple days ago. But if he didn't suffer the torn ACL, he's our CB1 in the draft. And it's kind of exercise too. We're kind of trying to tell you guys like who are the top guys. McCoy, as of right now, is the top guy. Just this whole torn ACL is going to hopefully not do too much to his stock, but it's probably going to drop him a good bit if he doesn't play at all this upcoming year. He might not even declare, right? This guy might not even declare next year. He might actually stay another year and go to the 2027 draft. I don't know, but it just sucks because he was our CB1, and this torn ACL really kind of ruins a lot of things for him. But I'll go with Jermard McCoy here.
All right, Chicago Bears. Great draft. Got a lot of outside weapons. Colston Loveland, Luther Burden. Fix up this offensive line. You know one thing they didn't get? They waited till all the way to the 7th round to take a running back. Kyle Manon guy. We have seen it in Detroit.
Oh, you got to do it.
I have to do it.
Have to.
Low moving. You talk about low moving costs. That's only about not even a 2-hour ride from Notre Dame. Give me Jeremiah Love. We get the workhorse back in Chicago behind this line. Now we got Caleb Williams, Jeremiah Love, Romo Dunze with some of the best college football players we've seen, along with some great veterans up front, and DJ Moore too, and Cole Kmet, Colson Love. Just a monstrous offense we're building there in Chicago. Jeremiah Love.
All right, 16 overall, Jeremiah Love to the Bears. Arizona Cardinals up here. There were talk about them taking an edge rusher in the draft. I know they signed Josh Sweat.
I might think linebacker too here. Lost Center York. Linebacker now to me is their biggest hole.
Yeah, what did they take any edge rushers in the draft?
Unless you go with another receiver.
I don't like it. This receiver class I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not trying to play any of these guys that high in the draft. I think I'm gonna go edge here. I still think even with they got Baron Browning starting at one edge. They got Josh Sweat the other one. They took Jordan Burch, who's a solid player, but I'm gonna go with Ruben Bain here, who I think
he fits that defense actually when you think about what he can do. Just what he can do moving inside and out. I've talked about, is Bain kind of a tweener? You could be a tweener in this defense because Jonathan Gannon will just use both sides of the fence there. I don't hate that.
Yeah. All right, Donnie says right edge works too. He wanted a right tackle. I don't know if there's – I just don't know, Donnie, I just don't know if there's another tackle. This tackle class after Malingoa and Proctor drops off a cliff after that. Like Emil Wagner is our top tackle after that. He's number 68 overall on the big board, right? So – it's just if Malingoa was there, that would have been a great pick, but he was not there for Arizona. So instead, he takes Malingoa's teammate in Ruben Bain to Arizona. All right, 18 overall, Vikings.
You're gonna like this one. You know, I thought maybe. The same way I talk about Levante David and the Bucs, we kind of need a succession plan.
Yeah.
How about that for Harrison Smith with Dylan Thieneman here?
Oh, yeah.
And I think, I'll tell you what, use him more in that free safety role at Oregon. And this is a guy, I love Dylan Thieneman probably more than anybody in the country. And he's at Oregon now. The Purdue logo's on there. It's another one we got to fix. He's at Oregon playing for the Dan Lanning and the Ducks now. If they know to put him in more of that free safety role, he can absolutely fly. He's a great center fielder. And Brian Flores likes to move guys around with that speed and play a lot of man coverage and cover one and get Thieneman back there as the center fielder behind that pretty deep group of corners they have now. Give me Dylan Thieneman as the Harrison Smith succession plan in Minnesota.
It's hard to say that any safety is better at any one thing than Caleb Downs, considering how special Caleb Downs is. He's our number one overall player in the draft. I will say, though, if you're running a lot of cover one, I think I'd rather have Dylan Thieneman than Caleb Downs.
They ran a ton of it at Purdue. This past year, they just kind of put him out of position more often. He can absolutely fly. He can ball hawk. I think Thieneman's a guy now that he's with Dan Lanning in Oregon out there and not on that Purdue team that won, 2 games last year. This is somebody to watch. They got a dynamite player in Thieneman out there in Oregon.
Love it. All right. 19 overall. The Denver Broncos are on the clock here. They took Pat Bryant in the 3rd round. Don't love that pick. Is there a receiver?
Do you start talking about Singleton?
I was looking at Singleton. Denzel Boston. That's another size guy. I think they'll rather go with a guy like Eric Singleton.
Might be one of your Jake Slaughter spots here, too.
You know what? Before I decide on who I'm going to pick here for the Denver Broncos, we got to talk about the sponsor of the show. That is Fabric by Gerber Life. What does your child's future success look like to you? A job they're passionate about, traveling around the world, or just being happy and comfortable. Whatever their journey, you can help make it easier to achieve with a kid's investment account from Fabric by Gerber Life. By making contributions to your child's future today, you can help give them the means to pursue their dreams big and small. Fabric by Gerber Life was designed by parents for parents to make it easy to plan for and manage your family's financial path. With a kids investment account from Fabric, you can start investing in your child's future today. Kids can't invest when they're minors, but a kids investment account allows you to invest on their behalf now, giving their investments more time to grow. It's all online, and setting an account can take you just 5 minutes. Then you can manage your child's account and monitor their investments right from your phone. Funds can be used for nearly anything benefiting your child, from tuition and tutors to music classes. And when they're adults and on their own, they can use the funds for anything that they need. Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help protect their family. Start investing in your child today at meetfabric.com/PFFcollege. That's meetfabric.com/PFFcollege. meetfabric.com/PFFcollege. Portfolios managed by Fort Washington Investment Advisors Incorporated. Additional services provided by Apex Clearing Corporation. All investing is up to risk. Learn more at meetfabric.com. All right, Denver Broncos. I am going to go with Eric Singleton Jr., another guy who transferred, so he's not actually at Georgia Tech anymore. He's actually at Auburn this year. He, alongside Cam Coleman, a name to know in the 2027 NFL draft, should make one of the best receiving cores in the country. And I think Singleton is a dangerous player after the catch, a speedy receiver, very fluid route runner as well. That will be something I think Sean Payton gravitates towards in his receiving core. I'll go with Singleton as right now our favorite to be wide receiver 2 in the draft.
Well, I like that. I like that a lot. I think Singleton, it's all on Jackson Arnold. They've got all the weapons down there at Auburn, him and Cam Coleman and all those guys. I think Singleton is key. If Arnold figures it out, if they get the play calling right down there with Jackson Arnold and everything's in sync, Singleton could be in for a big year after 2 big years at Georgia Tech already.
Can I make a suggestion for you?
Sure. Yeah.
The top player on the big board for Houston Texans.
Yeah, I was probably leaning that way. Yeah. D-tackle might have been my other spot, but I don't see Zane Durant. I can't go Zane Durant this early. Yeah, that was probably where I was going anyway.
Love it.
I mean, you just get a center, lock it in. Jake Slaughter, you talked about the murderer's row that he faced last year, and he was still the highest graded center in the Power Four still, despite all the SEC opponents. He's a terrific football player. And I think, again, you're looking for stability. This year, they went and got weapons. They got Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. I have no issue with that at all. They also got Ariante Ursary at tackle. Interior, they didn't attack it like maybe we thought they would. Next year, first-rounder Jake Slaughter. And that's I know that's the biggest Max's guy in the draft. I think next year. Jake Slaughter at center. Maybe do we get a first round center? When's the last time first round center? Linderbaum?
Linderbaum, yeah.
Well, you're making a statement if you're taking Jake Slaughter.
Yeah, you are.
You're making a real statement.
Don't know if he's as good as Linderbaum. Linderbaum was legit like the best player in college football when he was playing.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
But Jake Slaughter is up there for sure. I mean, you mentioned before, Dalton, the only Power 4 center who had 80-plus grades as a pass blocker and run blocker. And you mentioned the murderer's row schedule. He played Walter Nolan, Alfred Collins, Jamar Turner, Deion Walker, Omar Merlot, Joshua Farmer. I mean, that is as good as it gets. All those guys were drafted in the NFL literally over the last couple of days, right? So he is the best center in the country. I thought he was the best center in the country last year, and he goes in the first round here to the Houston Texans, who actually could use help at center too. So I think that's a really good pick right there. All right, Green Bay Packers here on the clock. I think what I'm going to do here is also go with the top player in the big board, because a lot of Packers fans wanted them to take a edge rusher in the draft. They took Barron Sorrell in the 4th round, solid player overall. But I don't think he's a long-term answer at one of your edge defender spots. So I'm going to go with the top player there, and Keldrick Falk, the edge rusher out of Auburn, really physically talented player, man. He was really good this past year, too, with an 83.8 PFF grade. The more I watched Keldrick Falk, the more I liked him, man. Honestly, I think this guy could really emerge next year's draft. And if he has a big year, he could honestly be a top 10 pick in next year's draft. He's got that kind of physical tools. And for a Packers team that loves their edge rushers, and I think Keldrick Falk fixed that team really well as a 4-3 defensive end too. I think this would be a fun pick for the Packers.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that what you're doing there is, and this is a very real possibility, is you're getting into what is maybe their biggest need between this and corner next year. But especially if they don't get a third-year breakout from Lucas Van Ness, they could be going back into the first round for an edge defender, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They loaded up in this year's draft at wide receiver, edge, and corner. So those are 3 things I'm not really looking at. I think what I am looking at, something I talked about a lot this year with Jahad Campbell as a possibility, is finding the successor to Levante David. I mentioned it earlier. They still have not done it. They did not draft a linebacker in this year's class.
Yeah, surprising.
So we'll do this. The speculation for me was about an Alabama linebacker this past year with Jahad Campbell. I'll go with his teammate now from Alabama who decided to stay in school, suffered a season-ending injury late in the year. Is that right? And then,
yeah.
Was it an ACL
I think it was, yeah.
He's got to get back healthy. Really darn good football player on an Alabama team that I think will be in the conversation for best defense in the country. Them, Clemson, Texas, Notre Dame, right? They're still an elite. They're an elite defense. I think they have a ton of young talent coming back. Give me Deontay Lawson to the Bucs. We'll do it this year. We'll spend another year mocking an Alabama linebacker to the Bucs, only for them not to take him in reality.
All right. Deontay Lawson going off the board there at number 22 overall to the Buccaneers. Chargers are up here.
What has Jim Harbaugh got up his sleeve? Any Michigan guys? Taking Derek Moore?
Michigan guys. I mean, I don't really know. Is LT Overton, he's an edge rusher, but can he play a stand-up edge? I don't know. Because he's a big,
it's kind of off, yeah,
he's a big guy, so I don't know if he fits that scheme.
Torian York, you get a linebacker in there. Go corner.
Could be.
They're not super loaded at corner by any means.
No, they are not. Cam Hart's currently starting, and Dante Jackson's the other starter right now. Corner is absolutely, that's a great call. I'm gonna go with Malik Muhammad here. AJ Harris is another guy I was thinking about from Penn State, but Malik Muhammad he's just so technically sound, and I think that's the guy that Jim Harbaugh would gravitate towards. He obviously loved coaching Will Johnson at his time at Michigan. He was another technically sound corner. I think Malik Muhammad's kind of not as good as Will Johnson is, but he's another technician at corner, and I think he's probably going to be a first-round pick, so I'll go with him here to the Chargers.
All right, here we go. Okay, we got the Commanders at 24. 24, man.
They did not take an edge rusher, by the way, which is shocking in the draft at all.
Yeah, that was my first lean. Is it going to be Overton? I know you like Tyreek Sapp a lot from Florida as well.
Another physical freak, yeah.
Deny Dennis Sutton sitting here. I like Mikhail Kamara, but he probably goes after those guys unless he has a freakish year, which could.
Yeah,
that Indiana team,
size and length,
Indiana team's still going to be good, and it's because of that defense and Kamara and Pons and those guys. I'm mad. I know we're not going to get D'Angelo Pons in this first round because he's 5'8" and $170, but
yeah.
I want to so bad. I love that guy. My thoughts are edge here or maybe Torian York. Maybe we safeguard against. We're doing the 1 year thing every year, like Levante David with Bobby Wagner too. I think we're going to be doing that 1 year at a time. So, thoughts edge or
I lean edge only because I thought it was their biggest need entering the draft, and they didn't even take a single one.
Overton.
You think Fitz like as a bigger?
Yeah, I think he would.
He's like a hybrid D-tackle edge.
I think Dan Quinn, he messes around with the fronts, especially with Frankie Louvu and moving him down to edge, and Overton, if you want him to rush from a 5 technique, 4-eye sort of. I think he would like Overton.
All right. LT Overton.
Eli he just sent in our chat the same thing that I was just going to tell you. I'm stealing this pick. Eli's stealing this pick.
Yep.
I think this really should be Armaj Reed Adams.
Done.
The best guard in the country.
Done.
Yeah.
Eli, done.
Eli, you had this. I've been thinking about this for the last 10 picks. When we get to the Bengals, I need to get him to take Reed Adams. Yeah, I'm in on that.
Armaj Reed Adams was second behind Willie Lampkin, by the way, future Hall of Famer Willie Lampkin. He was second behind Willie Lampkin among Power 4 guards in overall grade, run blocking grade, and wins above average. So he, by all accounts, was one of the best guards in the country last year. Transferred over from Kansas. He's a powerful player, can excel in any run blocking scheme too. He's very scheme versatile. Getting a little bit better as a pass blocker, but as a run blocker, man, he is a mauler in the run game. So I like that pick a lot. Eli Armaj Reed Adams going over to the Bengals.
All right, decision time for the Rams. All right, there's 2 thoughts I have here. We already got a corner with a darn good one in Avion Terrell, right?
I think the Rams fans in the chat will be pissed if you don't take a quarterback here.
Is it quarterback? It's either Torian York is what I would do, or it's a quarterback.
That's a good pick.
And so, I mean, we look at the quarterbacks we have in the mock sim.
I feel like we've got to get Sellers off the board at some point just to appease the people. Remember, we are also writing this up for PFF.com, and if we don't have Lenore Sellers in the first round, people might get really upset.
You have Carson Beck ahead of him on the board, though.
I know, I do. I view Beck right now. I'm a little bit better. That could change. I think Sellers has a higher ceiling, but Sellers is a raw passer right now. He's pretty raw.
Yeah, but the tools.
The tools are outrageous.
The tools. And and this might even depend, you could think about, just like we had the argument this year, taking Sellers, even if Stafford stays for one more year beyond this year, right? We got to see. Sellers is one of the biggest X factors in the country this year because the talent's all there, the tools are all there. You want to do it, Lenore Sellers?
Yeah, I do love the Torian York call. That was a great call, though.
I would love Torian York, and they got Chris Paul a steal. They have Omar Spates, but York would add another dimension at linebacker. We'll do it. We'll take the quarterback. Chat wants Lenore Sellers. You got him.
I don't know where else he would have gone. We would not have gone anywhere else. This is our last pick.
You have to mention the name Lenora starting with LA there. You could see logos and branding already being made today.
The Rams social media team loves that pick right there.
Oh yeah.
And we had to get him in there because there's a chance he could be the number 1 overall pick if he explodes next year. Right, so it's like we almost have to get him somewhere in this mock. Just
all the conversations we had with Richardson, all the conversations we've had with Milroe, and every year there's one tools guy. Sellers is next year's tools guy, and everybody's going to be talking about him.
Yep. People who are wondering why the mock draft simulator, the order is Ravens and Bills. Obviously, that doesn't mean the NFL is going to change conferences around and the Ravens are going to play the Bills in the Super Bowl. This is again just based off Super Bowl odds, right? So the Ravens and Bills, I believe, are the best Super Bowl odds ahead of the Eagles, I believe, right now.
Pick 32. Was the script leaked to the mock sim guys? Do they know the Bills are winning the whole thing?
Yeah, I guess so. But that's why. And if you count it up too, I bet there's not an even amount of AFC and NFC teams from 18 to 32 or 19 to 32, which are the playoff teams too. It's just the Super Bowl odds, right? And you also, if you want, you can adjust the order any way you like too. So if you're a Bills fan and you think, I want to see what happens if we get the first overall pick, you can adjust the order any way you want to. This is just the default order because of the Super Bowl odds. That's why it's not perfect. It's not going to be actually what it is on the NFL draft because there's obviously 2 AFC teams at the bottom there, but that's just the Super Bowl odds. That's why it's a little funky right there. All right, Detroit Lions, number 27 overall. This is pretty easy. I'm going with an edge rusher. I mean, they didn't take an edge in the draft, right? I don't believe so. Or if they did, it was very late. So yeah, I have to. This again, look, the Commanders this is the biggest need of the team going into it, and they took Ahmad Hassanin, good player, in 6th round. But
that's what it was. Yeah, sixth
round pick. Do like Ahmad Hassanin, but I was shocked they didn't take an edge rusher earlier in what was an incredible edge rusher class. So I'm between the top 2 right there in Denai Sun and Tyree South.
I'm going to throw a third one if you want to call your shot. I know you love this guy. David Bailey led the nation in pass rush grade this past year, going to Texas Tech now instead of he's out of Stanford and into Texas Tech with a pretty darn loaded D-line that we need to talk about this summer. But could we see David Bailey doing that again and taking that next step? Or I haven't watched a lot of him. I didn't watch a ton of Stanford during the season aside from Ellick. But
he's a technician. He screams more day 2 because of his tools.
Okay.
And I think Sapp and Denai Sun have way better tools. Dennis
Sutton's got tools for days. Yeah. And he's always been that number 2 guy. He's going to be in the spotlight this year. You going a Penn State guy to the Lions here? Or?
Could. It's either him or Sapp. I do love Sapp. Yeah. You know what? I'll go with Denai Sutton.
All right.
I'll take him here. Sapp's a little bit of a bigger edge rusher. He's like 6'2", 270. I think Dennis Sutton's 6'5", 265. He's got like better length than Sapp does. So I do love Sapp though. He had a great year this past year, but I'll go Dennis Sutton for the tools.
Okay. I'm in on that. Need a pass rusher in Detroit still. And they're going to find it. They got a good rotation of guys going there. I don't hate the Tyleek Williams pick early to stop the run, get more interior going. But anyway, San Francisco at 28. Torian York is an option. Put him next to Fred Warner. A.J. Harris, I don't hate. Another corner. They got a ton of run stoppers up front. I could still debate about taking a pass rusher and messing around with some things. And Robert Saleh always loves his defensive lineman. Chandler Rivers, good player.
By the way, it feels a little weird the 49ers have the 5th best Super Bowl odds right now. I'm not sure about that.
And this is a problem, too. Yeah, that's true, too. That's a little off. This is a problem, too, that you have with such a thin offensive line group, is that if the Niners are actually picking that late, who's going to emerge?
Yeah.
I mean, I like Parker Brailsford. For their system, I love it. I just don't know if I would take him first round. Spencer Fano would be a great pick for them.
There is someone in the chat, Tessino Canton, saying, great work. You guys, feels like you haven't stopped since Thursday. I appreciate that. He also said, if you get Gettings Dunker, the Iowa tackle in the first round, I will love this mock draft. Just note there. I don't know if we'll get him in the first round. Good player, though. That outside zone scheme in Iowa.
If there was a place where I would do it, starting right tackle.
90 grade this past year.
You know I love my scheme fits, and that would work.
Outside zone, they run a lot out. Didn't they take Connor Colby?
Yes. Same. Well, now you said. All right, we're doing it.
Gettings Dunker.
Right, he's down at 73 on the board right now, but you know what? The board is going to change. The second Trevor looks at it, it's going to change.
Trevor's going to rip this board up in a heartbeat.
You know what? Let's do it. Gettings Dunker. Right tackle. Get him in, just plug him right in there at right tackle in this scheme with what Tim Lester is doing over there. That's a great call out. You know I love my scheme fits. We're doing it.
Destino Canton, we got your guy in there in the first round. Some Isaiah World, love in the chat too. I think Isaiah World's a talented player, a new Oregon tackle coming in from Nevada. His grading profile was okay in Nevada though, so it's more of a wait and see with Isaiah World. But love it. Jennings Dunker getting there to the 49ers. Also the vibes Jennings Dunker. I don't know if you've ever seen his headshot, just incredible. He's got like a mullet, he's got like a full mustache too. He's an offensive lineman. He's offensive lineman, dude. I love it.
The Danny Stutzman of offensive lineman.
No, he is quite literally. He's just vibes. That guy's incredible. So going there at 28 overall, and also just for anyone who's curious, like these big board rankings, Dalton and I did our very best to get as accurate of a ranking as possible. But listen, we were doing so much prep for the 2025 draft that, we did, from 100 on or something like that. It's a lot of just jumbled. And maybe, if we had to really do it, it'd be different rankings too. So even though Dunker was lower on the big board, like that could absolutely change.
You never know. Teams get these guys in. You see what kind of, if he grades a 90 again for the second straight year.
Yeah.
He could be in this conversation. I'm in on that.
Absolutely. All right. Love the scheme fit too. All right. 29, Kansas City Chiefs on the clock here.
Is it a guard this time? I know they have Simmons. If Jalen, they got Josh Simmons. I think he's staying at tackle. This is a moment where I think about the interior and I go, is there an appeal to somebody still who can play guard like a big Jaden Roberts from Alabama? Caden Green from Missouri. I know that's a former 5-star guy, right? That's a guy you like?
4-star. But he's a good player, though. One of the top guys on the board. I mean, Denzel Boston gets some size in the receiver room. He's a guy I think a lot of people are going to fall in love with.
Who is it that we like that they draft? They took Jalen Royals. I don't know if they'll go receiver early. I don't think they would.
Yeah.
Torian York, good player. I know they got Bossa.
Torian York. I mean, they got Drew.
Or you just keep going D-line. You could go like a Tyreek Sapp.
Could be a Tyreek Sapp. Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I mean, I'll look at Torian York.
See, I'll tell you what, too, for what Spagnuolo does. And I know, who was it they took on the D? Oh, they took Ashton Gelati. If they didn't take Ashton Gelati, well, and I don't know if it prevents it, Mikael Camaro would be a lot of fun here for the Chiefs, too.
Yeah, A.J. Harris, Donna, you said. That could be interesting. I mean, they have Christian Fulton in
Concepcion, get more after the catch going.
God, there's a lot of options here. Damn.
The Chiefs are tough. Chiefs are really hard. Did they take this? Well, I don't know if David Bailey's their guy.
No.
And if you want a receiver, also, we might get hit pretty hard if we don't get Carnell Tate in here, too, somewhere.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, I just don't know if I'll take him there. I think Denzel Boston's going to go over him, too. All right, I'm going to go with – sorry, I know you almost kill me right now. I'm going to go with he goes, yep. I'm going to go with I'll go with Tyreek Sapp. I'll go Tyreek Sapp to the Chiefs there. I like Tyreek Sapp a lot.
Okay, all right. Philadelphia. I would have gone Torian York if they didn't steal Jahad Campbell.
Yeah. Get an outside corner and A.J. Harris, maybe?
Yeah, I think that might be the move here. I might get a couple Penn State players to the two Pennsylvania teams. I think they took a corner maybe late. I know they got a Dory Jackson. Check their class this year.
Yeah.
I feel like they got a corner late, and I don't actually, right off the top of my head, remember.
Mac Williams in the 5th round, yeah.
Oh, that doesn't prevent me from taking a corner. All right, let's do it. A.J. Harris, Philadelphia. I got two. I got Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. I got two Penn State guys going. A.J. Harris.
What do the Ravens do here?
Could be another Torian York spot.
Yeah.
Could be
Denzel.
I don't hate Kamara here.
I just feel like Kamara's going to be a second rounder. The length and the size and stuff.
You said the same with Bailey.
You know what I'm going to do?
They got Mike Green, too. D'Angelo Pons? No.
No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take...
Taking a back?
No, I'm going to take... I'm taking Denzel Boston here.
Boston or Tate?
Boston.
Okay.
I think they need more size in that receiver room. I don't think DeAndre Hopkins is a long-term answer at all.
Oh, of course.
In that receiver room.
6'4", 210, tearing it up at Washington, 1,000 yards, I believe, this past year.
And I'm telling you right now, he might get wide receiver one love for a lot of people. So I want to get him in here because I think he is a guy that you need to know in next year's draft.
Okay. All right. So, Bills. I actually love the draft that the Bills had this year. T.J. Sanders, Maxwell Hairston, Deion Walker, Landon Jackson, right? All these players that they got. The one spot they didn't address, which I think very well could be a need because I don't love the depth. I know they signed Terrell Bernard to a multi-year extension. Matt Milano's getting a little bit older. Let's go linebacker here. I think this will make Torian York the pick here for the Bills. And for the future now, you're looking at Torian York and Terrell Bernard.
Love it.
Again, I'm not trying to push Matt Milano out the door, but he's getting older. He's had a lot of injuries lately. Dorian Williams struggles in coverage. So I think York is just somebody through his first 2 years at A&M. He's been really good all the way around. Learned, especially his first year playing next to Edger and Cooper. So I do think it is entirely possible you could get him into the first round here. I'll take him for the Buffalo Bills at 32. 32, the script is out. Bills apparently are winning the whole thing.
Love that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Buffalo Bills winning their first ever Super Bowl, apparently, according to the Super Bowl odds as of right now. But let's just recap the first round for anyone who are audio-only listeners. Number 1, Giants take Caden Proctor, tackle from Alabama. Number 2, Browns take Arch Manning, quarterback from Texas. Number 3, Titans take Caleb Downs, safety, Ohio State. 4, Jets take quarterback Cade Klubnik from Clemson. Saints take quarterback Garrett Nussmeier from LSU. Panthers take Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker out of Texas. Raiders take T.J. Parker, edge rusher, Clemson. Colts take quarterback Sam Levitt, Arizona State. The Cowboys take edge rusher D tackle Peter Woods from Clemson. The Browns take Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State. The Seahawks take Spencer Fano, who's a tackle, but probably more of a guard from Utah. The Patriots take Francis Mauigoa, tackle from Miami. Rams take Avion Terrell, corner from Clemson. Steelers take Drew Allard, quarterback, Penn State. Dolphins take Jermon McCoy, corner, Tennessee. Bears take Jeremiah Love, running back out of Notre Dame. Reuben Bain Jr. goes to the Cardinals, the edge rusher from Miami. The Vikings take Dylan Thieneman, safety out of Purdue. Broncos take Eric Singleton Jr., wide receiver, Georgia Tech. The Texans take Jake Slaughter, center from Florida. Packers take Keldrick Falk, edge rusher from Auburn. Deontay Lawson, the linebacker from Alabama, goes to the Buccaneers. Chargers take Malik Muhammad, corner from Texas. The Commanders take LT Overton, edge rusher from Alabama. Bengals take Armaj Breed Adams, the guard from Texas A&M. Rams take Lenora Sellers, the quarterback from South Carolina. Lions take Denai Dennis Sutton, edge rusher from Penn State. The 49ers take Gettings Dunker, tackle from Iowa. Chiefs take Tyreek Sapp, edge rusher from Florida. Eagles take A.J. Harris, corner from Penn State. Ravens take Denzel Boston, wide receiver from Washington. And Torian York, the linebacker from Texas A&M, goes to the Buffalo Bills to round out our way too early 2026.
But 100% accurate.
Yeah, way too early, but 100% accurate 2026 NFL mock draft. I said it before, this will probably be the worst ever way too early mock we do, considering how wide open this class will be. But we're going to bring you guys all the coverage on all of these guys and every team in college football as well. We are officially now in college football season. The PFF College Football Show will no longer be the PFF NFL Draft Show. It'll back to being the PFF College Football Show with our continued previews of the 2025 college football season with all those guys we just mentioned in the mock draft. We'll talk about them and a lot more players for all of our coverage. We appreciate all you guys in the chat too, and all you guys that watched along for all of our coverage for day 1, day 2, day 3, and even day 4 of the NFL draft with our recap show. Dawn and I were on all 4 of those days. Really appreciate you guys. It's kind of a dream come true for all of us here at PFF this past weekend. And now we're on the 2026 NFL draft. We're on to the 2025 college football season. Last episode for the week. Unfortunately, I'm going back home for a little bit, so we'll see you guys next week with more college football videos. But for producer Eli back there, for Dalton Wassman, I'm Max Chadwick, and we'll see you guys very soon.